Okay, what is going on, everybody? This is your boy Juggernaut097, bringing you guys another Juggernaut retro review, and this is the episode number 11 for you guys. And we are continuing doing my reviews of the Slammiversary pay-per-views as seen on the Impact Plus Wrestling Network. So, yeah, we are reviewing the 2006 Slammiversary. And this was the 4th anniversary of TNA Impact, which the year before this was 2005, which was the 3rd anniversary. But before we get started with this review, if this is your first time ever checking out one of my videos, please smash that subscribe button, hit that like button, and turn on that notification button to be notified every time I make a new video. And also, after this review, I'm going to be talking about some other things that are some videos I'm going to be coming up with. So that's going to be at the end of this review. So stick around if you want to hear some things that I have on my mind and, you know, in the world of wrestling and sports in general. So, yeah, nonetheless, let's get started with this review. So, this show was held on June 18th, 2006 in Orlando, Florida at the Impact Zone, which they held a lot of their pay-per-views there, which is, you know, usually the crowd is pretty good. They're like the crowd is pretty hype for most of these shows, and this crowd was pretty into it. But the first match that kicked off the show was a bingo hall brawl. We had Team 3D, Brother Ray and Brother Devon against the James Gang, BG James, aka Road Dogg, and Kip James, aka Billy Gunn. This match started off really quick. I mean, not even done with their entrances, they just start brawling. Like they go all over this arena. They go into the crowd. They even go around where LAX was doing commentary, because like they apparently at this time had like a commentary thing going on, like during these pay-per-views and whatnot. But yeah, so they were doing that. Even LAX got involved, you know, because Conan, he's a part of LAX. He had a little history with BG James, you know, Road Dogg, because he was a part of the 3 Alive crew. You know, you thought you were going to see him do a little reuniting, but instead, LAX beat up on the James Gang, and yeah, so they beat up on the James Gang for a little bit. But they eventually went back to the ring. They fought in the ring for a little while. Some pretty cool spots in the match where you saw a Famouser on a trash can. That was pretty cool. You saw 3D through a table. You know, always a classic spot when Team 3D brings out a table, and the crowd was really behind Team 3D here. But Team 3 did end up getting the victory when they hit a 3D through a table onto, I can't remember who it was. Maybe it was Kip James. I think it was. You know, or I'm just going to call him Billy Gunn. That's easy enough to call him Billy Gunn. But it was a pretty good opener. Like I said, the crowd was really good opener, and the crowd was just really behind Team 3D here. So not much else to say about the match. But the next match we had was a 2-on-1 handicap match. We had Rhino going against Team Canada, Bobby Roode and Scott D'Amore, or Coach D'Amore, whatever you want to call him. This match was not so good. I mean, you saw a lot of, you know, Bobby Roode and, you know, Scott D'Amore kind of, you know, working on Rhino a lot during the match. But eventually Rhino did get the win here. Like I said, it wasn't that good, and I never been a big fan of, like, Team Canada. I mean, I didn't mind Team Canada, but Scott D'Amore, I just never liked him. But I did like when Rhino gored Scott D'Amore to get the 1-2-3. I did really, you know, kind of, he got his comeuppance here. He, you know, really shut up Scott D'Amore. So that was a good thing. But, I mean, yeah, this match was kind of forgettable. I don't remember much from this match. So we're going to move on from that. So the next match we had was an elimination. It was an elimination match to figure out the number 1 contender for the X Division Championship. So we had Senshi, versus Sanjay Dutt versus Alex Shelley versus Shark Boy versus Petey Williams versus Jay Lethal. Now, on the last Slammiversary that I reviewed, they had like a X Division type of match, but it wasn't for to figure out the number one contender for the X Division Championship, which I like that they had some stipulation here. And I'll say this match was a lot better than the one on 2005, because I knew a lot more guys in this match, and a lot of the guys were like a lot more like Petey Williams. He's a good X Division guy. Jay Lethal, Alex Shelley. I think Alex Shelley was in the... No, he wasn't on the last show. I mean, he was on the last show. He was facing the Shocker on the last show. Senshi, or a.k.a. Loki. Shark Boy, we saw him in the last elimination. Well, it wasn't an elimination match, but, the X Division match we saw on the last show. But this was a really good match. I enjoyed it. He had some pretty cool spots in the match. We had a trifecta of a suplex, so that was pretty cool. It was, I know it was Shark Boy, Jay Lethal, and I'm trying to think of who the other guy was. Sanjay Dutt. They did a suplex onto Senshi, Alex Shelley, and Petey Williams. So that was a really cool spot during the match. You saw some, high flying. But one thing I have a problem with this match is that I don't like how they have to do tag-ins. Like, I said that on my last review. They make things so complicated in TNA sometimes, which I don't understand why. I just don't. But so yeah, it was an elimination match. So the first person that got eliminated was Shark Boy. He got pinned by Sanjay Dutt it was off of running shooting star press. And then the next eliminated wrestler was Alex Shelley. He got eliminated by Jay Lethal by a flipping release dragon suplex. And then Jay Lethal was the next to get eliminated. He got eliminated by Petey Williams, he was pinned after a Canadian destroyer. And then Petey Williams was the next to get eliminated. He got eliminated by Senshi. He was pinned after a Warrior's Way, which the Warrior's Way is a double foot stomp off the top rope. And then Senshi then eliminated Sanjay Dutt, which he was pinned after another Warrior Wrath. I said, yeah, Warrior Wrath. That's what he was pinned off of. And Senshi was the winner here. I mean, yeah, pretty good match. The first half of the match was kind of boring, when they kind of were doing tag-ins and stuff. But once the match started breaking down, it got a lot better, which I really enjoyed that. But yeah, pretty fun match. And then the next match we had was Kevin Nash with Alex Shelley versus Chris Sabin. And Kevin Nash he basically been saying that he wants to take over this X Division, basically destroy it. This match wasn't so good. I mean, Alex Shelley did get some offense in during this match. There are some points I thought he was going to win, but Alex Shelley, he had to come and interfere quite a bit during the match, which you wouldn't think Alex Shelley would need to help interfere because Kevin Nash, he's a big, tall giant. You wouldn't think he would need to come in, and Alex Shelley is so short. So why would he need to come in and help? Alex Shelley needed to come in and help Kevin Nash to win the match. But Kevin Nash did end up winning the match by his jackknife and getting the 1-2-3 on Chris Sabin. Yeah, this was a whatever match. But this is when the show gets quite a bit better. This is when it gets pretty good. So we had a tag team match for the NWA World Tag Team Championships. We had America's Most Wanted, Chris Harris and James Storm, with Gail Kim. They were the champions, defending the titles against AJ Styles and Christopher Daniels. And at this time, America's Most Wanted, they held these titles for about 8 months, that's the longest anybody has held the titles in TNA, the tag team titles in TNA. And this was AJ Styles and Christopher Daniels' last chance to become tag team champions, because if they lost, they can't wrestle anymore for the tag team championships. So this was a crucial match for them. The crowd was really behind AJ Styles and Christopher Daniels. And Christopher Daniels and AJ Styles did end up getting the victory. This is probably my favorite match on this show. And both teams have very good chemistry. This was a good match. I really enjoyed it. This match went about 17 minutes. Or actually 18 minutes. But no, this was fun. And then that crowd just erupted when AJ Styles and Christopher Daniels won. I mean, they just went crazy. AJ Styles and Christopher Daniels went out to the crowd. They celebrated with them. This was a fun match. Best match on the show. And then next we had was Samoa Joe versus Scott Steiner. Now, before I talk about this match, I really liked this video package that they had. Like, I don't know who was making these video packages for TNA at this time, but they were pretty good. I mean, I was like getting pretty hyped for this, and this show was back in 2006, so that was pretty good on their part. But Scott Steiner was basically saying that he's beaten so many guys over the world. He should. They should be calling him Sloppy Joe, not Samoa Joe. Scott Steiner, he's hilarious. I like a heel Scott Steiner, and he was saying he beat people like Triple H, he beat people like John Cena, he beat so many people over in different companies, but he's never beaten Samoa Joe, though. And Samoa Joe, at this time, he was undefeated in TNA. He hasn't lost, and he's only been there for a year. And Samoa Joe, at this time, he was the X Division champion. This was a fun match. But the ending, I kind of leaves a sour taste. Leaves a bad impression on this match. I don't like how Joe won the match. I would think he would win by a muscle buster or a Coquina clutch, but no, he wins off a power slam. A power slam to beat Scott Steiner. What? That's only really one bad thing I have about this match. But they, did fight outside the ring for a while, even brought some weapons in, which I'm surprised there wasn't a disqualification, but the referee was giving them some leeway. But like I said, the ending of the match I didn't really like, though. Coming off a power slam to win, come on. But I was getting pretty good into this match until that ending. And then next we have the main event. It's a King of the Mountain match for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. We had the champion Christian Cage versus Jeff Jarrett versus Abyss versus Ron the Truth Killings versus Sting. This was a pretty decent match. I didn't really like the ending of it. I still think the 2005 match was better, but I'll tell you why I think it was better. Okay, so first off, R-Truth, or Ron the Truth Killings, whatever you want to call him, he became eligible by pinning Jeff Jarrett by a missile dropkick. So Jeff Jarrett had to go spend a couple minutes inside the box. And then Christian Cage became eligible by pinning Abyss off a Schoolboy. So then Abyss had to spend a couple minutes in the box. And Abyss and Jeff Jarrett, they were kind of working together during this match a little bit. They were working with each other for a little while. And then we had Jeff Jarrett become eligible after hitting the stroke on Ron the Truth Killings outside on the guardrail, which that was a really cool spot during the match. And then finally, Abyss kind of had enough of Jeff Jarrett's shenanigans, tired of helping out Jeff Jarrett, so he hit a black hole slam on Jeff Jarrett to pick up the 1-2-3. So then Jeff Jarrett had to go inside the penalty box. There was actually really no cool spot during the match. So Abyss was climbing up on ladder, and they had a whole bunch of tables set up on the outside of the ring. So Sting knocked over the ladder, and Abyss plummeted into those tables on the outside of the ring. That was a really cool spot during the match. We also saw we saw a crossbody onto everybody on the outside of the ring by Sting off of the cage on the outside of the ring. So that was another cool spot. And then Sting, he was basically the last person to become eligible, but the referee was knocked out because people were knocking out the referee. So he pinned Jeff. He hit a Scorpion Death Drop to pin Jeff Jarrett, but the referee was knocked out. So he basically used Sting used the referee's hand to pick up the 1, 2, 3, but Jeff Jarrett had to go spend time in the penalty box, but he never went. So he decided to climb the ladder because the referee was knocked out, so he didn't see anything. But Jeff Jarrett, he never went to the penalty box. But he decides to climb the ladder and hook the title belt, and he thinks that he's a winner. But he's not the winner because Jim Cornette comes out because he's like the new general manager. We figured out that he's like the new general manager tonight of TNA. And Jim Cornette wasn't having that, so he basically stripped the title off of Jeff Jarrett. So the NWA World Championship, there's no winner here, which Jeff Jarrett screwed himself again. I mean, in 2005, he got arrested. In the storyline, he got arrested, so he got kicked out of the match. Now this year, he's cheating to win. He's cheating to become the NWA World Champion, because he never went into the penalty box. So he wasn't able to, win the title. So that kind of leaves a sour taste in my mind a little bit. Like, I did not like the ending of that. But, I mean, it wasn't a bad match up until Jeff Jarrett, put up the title there. And, now we don't have an NWA World Champion. But, yeah, that was my TNA Slammiversary 2006 review. So go down in the comments, tell me what you thought of this show. But yeah, I thought it was a pretty good show overall. Was it better than 05? I think it was. Even though there was some points in the show I didn't really like, but I think it was a lot better than 05 in my opinion. So now that we got this review out of the way, let's talk about some things I want to talk about. So, we all know about the stuff that's been happening, that happened with TNA. It's unfortunate, the Tessa Blanchard thing. They decided to, even though all the rumors about Tessa Blanchard, TNA decided to keep her as a champion, which that kind of backfired on TNA. Because, she had a history. She had a bad history, SMH. So now TNA doesn't have a champion. So that is a very bad thing for them. But I'm also going to start doing some weekly and wrestling wrap-up videos, or news and rumors type of videos. I'm going to start doing that once I start getting more on a consistent basis again. Also, tonight I'm going to be doing my review for AEW's Fyter Fest. That's going to be the first review I'm going to be doing tonight. And then probably tomorrow is going to be my NXT Great American Bash review. Excuse me. So that's going to be tomorrow. And also, since sports are coming back, like MLB to be the one, I'm going to do a preseason predictions. I'm going to predict who's going to win each division. I'm not going to really predict the playoffs because that's really too early to predict, and who knows what's going to happen. If they're going to play the whole season, with COVID still going on, it's just a crazy year. It's just a crazy year inside of sports, and NBA is coming back soon, so I'm definitely going to be doing predictions for the NBA playoffs when that comes. But you're going to be seeing a preseason predictions because today was the start of Spring Training 2.0, or Summer Camp, as I like to call it a little bit, for the MLB of 2020. But I didn't think that we were going to be even getting an MLB season this year because, the owners and the whole organization, they couldn't figure out anything. They just wanted to bicker and stuff. But finally, we actually are getting a season now, so that's a good thing. So you're going to be seeing that video coming here very soon. Maybe here in a couple of days. Maybe Friday I might bring that video out. But yeah. So like I said, if this is your first time ever checking out one of my videos, please smash that subscribe button, hit that like button, and turn on the notifications to be notified every time I make a new video. Also, go follow me on all my social media platforms at the TrueJSB for Twitter and Instagram. Those links will be down in the description below. But yeah, this is Juggernaut saying peace out, and I'll catch you guys in my next video.